Hello and welcome to Cozy Leaf Club, a cozy corner on the internet for indoor plant lovers and hopefully outdoor as well in the future. And today I thought it would be great to go through my wish list for 2026. 2025 is when I truly started my plant parenting journey, and so I have gone through the basic Monstera deliciosa, the pothos, and the philodendron Brazil, and all of those things. And so now I want to venture into a lot more interesting plants. Some of them are still quite fairly common within the plant parenting community, but others I think have piqued my interest and are things that I want to experiment with in terms of texture, growing styles, and all of that fun thing. So today we are just going to be fangirling over different rare plants. So I'm not going to ask you to subscribe before watching because, you know, the video hasn't really started. But if you do enjoy this video and you have, I don't know, enjoyed your time here, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe and like and share this with all your other planty friends. Now we're just gonna get started with the first one, and this is the one that actually sparked this video idea, and it is the Hemanthes humulus, or humulus, I don't know how you pronounce it. And actually this is indigenous to where I live, South Africa. And so I saw it from a video that I'm going to play on Instagram, and it truly had my heart. But hearing that it was indigenous to South Africa got me interested in exploring other plants that are indigenous to where I stay and kind of looking locally. It's probably not local to where I stay right here, but just being in Southern Africa, actually South Africa, it is really beautiful. It is a perennial plant, and to my knowledge I don't think I have any currently, at least not indoors, and so that's also pretty interesting. But it has these very large, you know what, I'm just gonna stop playing. The first video that caught my attention by your local plant boy. But yeah, so I saw this one and I thought it was really interesting because it's these very large, like floopy leaves, kind of look like elephant ears. And I know there is the Hemanthes alphibus or something like that. But yeah, so it has these leaves, but also it goes into dormancy where the leaves dry and fall off. But after that season of dormancy, out comes like these flowers that look very pretty and delicate. And so I don't actually have any plants yet that have flowered. Hopefully this year that will change with some of my Hoyas, and I do have some Hoyas that I want to add definitely. But I just think that aesthetically it's super interesting because it's these huge leaves, but also the fact that it changes with the season is something that I don't have, and I think it would be cool to go through a life cycle with a plant. But yeah, they're just like so interesting. I actually today went to a nursery to see if they had any. They don't. I'm not so sure where I'm gonna find one. I'm hoping it's going to be fairly easy because I'm still in the same country. But yeah, I still need to look into the type of care construction and all of that kind of thing for this plant. But as for now, I just think it is so cool. It kind of reminds me of, I forget the name of the plant, but it also grows like this. I think it's a succulent or it's a desert plant. I really want to explore South African indigenous plants because I'm here, you know, learn about my environment here more, and things you can grow that are indigenous to here. But as for now, it is a wish list. The second one I think I've talked about in another video, showing my regular Alocasia frydek, whomst I love very much, and has actually put out a beautiful big leaf recently. I'm tempted to show you, but I will show you in an upcoming video. I want an Alocasia frydek that's variegated. I talked about it in another video. I saw it in a coffee shop one day and I absolutely fell in love with it. I've seen it all over Instagram and online, obviously, but Alocasia variegated frydeks look so pretty. And from what I know, Alocasia frydeks have easier care compared to other ones like Amazonicas, Watsonias, from what I have googled. But also I just really like how alocasia frydix look in that shape. I don't think I'm going to venture out into many alocasias just because I don't want to have a kind of anxiety towards care and thinking that, oh, this thing might drop in a second if it doesn't like what I'm doing. But yeah, you can just see like alocasia frydix, I think they just grow so beautiful. They look like they have white paint splashed all over them, and I just really want one so badly. I don't think I've ever been in the pool or the scene of getting a bunch of variegated plants. Originally it was just because of cost, but also just because I do really like the green, dark green and stuff like that. But I think this would definitely be an exception, because it's just super beautiful, and when it's bushy it just looks so freaking cool. And so I'm gonna be on the lookout for this one, and in all honesty, I think that after this variegated frydix, I might just cool it with alocasias because I just want more easier to care plants right now, or at least ones that don't give me a certain angst. I'm still in that stage, if that makes sense. So, and also just aesthetically wise, I think for now it's the only ones that have caught my attention. There are definitely more like rarer ones that have caught my attention, but I don't see myself owning them. I see myself just like appreciating them from afar. Okay, so the next plant that I want, really want, but I have no idea where I'd put it, but I still really want it, is an Anthurium luxurians or any luxurians hybrid, specifically the luxurians crossed with a crystallinum. I saw wild ferns one, but I think it's like it says here, but it's like a Anthurium crystallinum x magnificum with a luxurians, and oh my goodness, look at that dark round, it's almost like hanging lily pads or something like that. I don't know, but it's just so beautiful. But I just really have been drawn to the like not shiny, but the shiny luxurious feel and look of a luxurians, but also I like the darkness of those leaves, and I have yet to have a plant that has that dark of a leaf. Granted, I don't think I've seen one in person, so I don't know if it's like editing, but it doesn't really look like it. I'm not so sure. Either way, I just like how rich it looks and how yeah, I just like the texture as well. And so I think even if it's like a hybrid, that's what I'm saying, specifically a luxuriance x crystallinum, like this one really caught my eye from green hues because it's round, but it looks so cool and bushy as well. But I'm not picky. They just look really stunning and dark and moody, and I think that would be a great little break to the leaves that I already have in my collection right now. I've talked about it in a previous video, but definitely from the beginning I didn't think I would be a collector of anthuriums because to me they all looked the same. But now I am starting to see different kinds of anthuriums, and so I really like how some of them look. Still will not be looking for pretty much duplicates, you know what I mean? So for example, I have a vitarifolium that's very different to a luxurians. I just got a clarinervium. Wow, these words. I just got a clarinervium today, and I do have a crystallinum, and they do look very similar, but they all, I don't know, they all have their different traits. Is this just how people fall into anthuriums? I don't know. There is quite a lot on this list now that I'm thinking about it. All I'm saying is that it's come full circle. In the beginning, I thought I would never collect them because I didn't care. And then you start to see the different kinds of ones, and then, oh no, it's a rabbit hole. So yeah, any kind that I come across, I am looking for. Hopefully I get one which is already pretty established. I don't think I see myself getting seedlings or any cuttings or tissue cultures just because I'm impatient and also I don't trust myself with the care that a younger plant needs. So we'll see, we'll see. I do have a couple smaller plants here. For now they're doing well, but yeah. So my next plant is similar in terms of like a darker, moodier, and interesting texture plant. And this is a philodendron melanochrysum. If I'm saying that not wrong, I'm so sorry. Purely because, and I think it was on, I think his name is Sydney Plant Guy. Yeah, Sydney Plant Guy. Saw his video. He always has like the amazing plants on moss poles. It just seems like he has cracked the code with moss poles, and all of his plants are thriving and sizing up insanely. I have yet to do that, but I just think they look so cool. I really love strappy leaves, and I want to get more strappy leafed plants this year, definitely, when I figure out where I'm gonna place everything, because I'm working with small space. But it just is so, like, they grow so big and strappy, and I like the velvety texture. I don't think I have any like truly velvety plant right now, so I just love how they look like. They start off small, but I guess when you put it on a moss pole, they do size up so pretty. So it is going to take quite a while for it to get to the size of Sydney Plant Guy, if it ever does, because I don't trust my plant moss pole care skills, even though I haven't truly tried it yet. But look at it, it just looks stunning. There is like other velvety leafed philodendron like Glorosorium and I'm forgetting the word. I didn't really see myself getting into those kinds of ones because I know there is a certain type that attracts bugs, and I don't want to deal with that at all. I actually don't know about melanochrysum. I actually have to check into that first before I'm busy oogling over it. But also just because I thought it wasn't really my kind of plants. They look great, but I didn't know if I wanted to buy it until I saw the melanochrysum. Are fairly compact, is what I'm learning, is that their footprints aren't that big, because they also don't jut out that much compared to like Jose Bueno or a Billy or stuff like that. These ones look fairly compact, but it still has that like really cool feel. I don't know, I've been oogling over these for a while. So the next one is actually quite a different vein, and this is a cactus. So I don't have any succulents or cacti or anything right now, because I know I don't have the real estate to give it the conditions it needs, so like bright sun and all of that kind of stuff. But once I have a setup or an area that I can dedicate to succulents and cacti and all that kind of stuff, I really want a monkey tail cactus. I think they look so freaking funny. I have seen a couple in the nursery here and there. They are on the pricier end for succulents, but I guess it's just the variety and scarcity. I don't know, I couldn't tell you. But yeah, they just look so whimsical and so interesting. Actually, this person's growing it indoors. I just know that thing, if they were to sell it now, would cost an arm and a leg, because it's so big and bushy. But they just look so funny and so whimsical that I just really need to have one. It reminds me of my cat's tail, but it's a succulent. I didn't know things like this exist or you could get them, but they look cool. I think this looks like, I thought it was a foxtail, but I recently watched a video from Benji Plant's channel where he did a home tour of, I forget who, but they had a foxtail plant or a foxtail cactus, and I thought that one also looked really whimsical because it was a lot more bushy, kind of like this one. But yeah, I want to experiment with succulents because they also look like a whole other fun avenue to go down, but I want like the whimsical kind of unusual ones. I think Good Growing often shows a lot about, or talks a lot about her one cactus. Can't remember what the name of the succulent is, but it's ghostly. It's like white and it has like a bit of green tinge, but and that one's also pretty cool. But yeah, so I think this one would be a really cool break of texture and another challenge because I just don't have any succulents or whatever Granted, I don't think I would ever grow a large one, just because if I were to keep succulents outdoors, I am worried about them getting damaged, just because we get a lot. I'm in a tropical area, so we get a lot of thunderstorms, hail. I don't want them to be damaged, and then I get sad. I also can't really like build a certain structure to keep them under and stuff like that, so it's going to be restricted, but this is definitely on the list, so stay tuned. I might just get one. So now it's time to talk about an honorable mention of a plant I thought would be on my wish list, or at least a family of plants that I thought would be on my wish list, but no longer is, and they are begonias. So I originally didn't really feel drawn to begonias. I thought they were pretty, but I didn't find myself like reaching to buy one in the beginning. And then recently I got a begonia maculata because they have been popping up more locally. I guess it's just the season. And it's really stunning. Like, seeing it in person, absolutely stunning. And so I very quickly fell into a little bit of a rabbit hole in terms of finding out what other begonia I'd like to collect, whether it's a pink spot or a red berry, or, you know, the ones that have that spiral shape and stuff like that. However, recently I have come to understand that begonias are quite the dramatic one. I've had a bit of a roller coaster with this begonia, and I've talked about it in my last video, so you can listen more about what it is. But essentially, she kept dropping leaves left, right, and center. No matter what I did with it, kept dropping leaves. Recently, she hasn't been dropping that many leaves. Quite frankly, I am just coming to terms with, as for now, I have not really understood what kind of care begonia need and whether I can, you know, manipulate my environment to care for it, but I just don't really have the energy to deal with that, and I don't want to go through the heartbreak of spending money and then something coming and just dropping leaves left, right, center. I'm not too bummed that I'm not going to be collecting them, because although they're really pretty, they're not really on my radar right now. So yeah, let me know if you love begonias, if you have like a secret sauce or a secret tip that keeps your begonias happy and from dropping leaves. Maybe I can change something, I don't know, maybe there's a draft somewhere, although I keep it in a place where the window is always closed, so I don't know, let me know. So the next one is something that has become a lot more common from what I see and what I gather, and this is a Monstera Tycon, but I'm more so broadening it to whatever variegated or, I don't know, interesting Monstera deliciosa type there is. So I have two Monstera deliciosas. I have a larger one, and then I have a smaller one that still needs, I think I need to give it more light so that I can actually see it like grow a lot more. But I want a deliciosa that looks really interesting, and I think Tycons look really pretty because of those splashes of color. There is the Monstera elbow, but personally I'm more drawn to the look of a Monstera Tycon, and I think I would be able to look after that one and preserve it better as a Tycon, because the variegated areas aren't so big. I don't trust myself with variegation. When I was on holiday, I went to the United States, and it was so funny to see, like, they have Tycons in a Walmart. Like, it's so easily accessible, and here it's like through specific nurseries and plant sellers and stuff like that, so they're still fairly pricey, although they are now like getting lower in price as other Monstera variegations are like coming onto the scene and stuff like that, which is great. Like, if there's anything I'm gonna keep doing is waiting for plants to get out of the popularity or out of that high demand so that the price drops, because I don't want to spend bank on a single plant, especially if I don't know if it's going to survive or not. It's just going to hurt my heart and my wallet, so we're not doing that. But yeah, I think they look really beautiful, and like I said, I'm not really looking to have that many variegated plants, but if there were ones that I'd like to keep, is my Syngonium elbow, I have a Panda Galaxy Syngonium, and then the Alocasia Friedic variegated, and the Tycon. Other than that, I haven't really found any other that I am like rushing to get, you know, that I wouldn't get when it's not variegated. But these are really beautiful. I don't expect any of my monsteras to get as big as some of these ones online, just because I don't have the space or light and conditions to grow something that big. But when they're big, they obviously look absolutely beautiful, and I like the small flecks of variegation. Monstera albas are also very pretty. Personally, I really like these ones though. They just look so beautiful. Look at that. This one has a bit more variegation, but regardless, I just think they look really stunning, and so I'm glad they're getting more comments so that it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg when I eventually make the purchase. And I really don't mind if they get out of popularity, like if there's something else that people are being crazed over and stuff. I still think it's a very beautiful plant, so I'm so happy to still have this on a wish list. Like, I know probably everybody and their mama already has one. I don't. I still have the regular digula, which are still very beautiful, don't get me wrong, but this would be great. I'm just wondering where I'm going to put it and how I can cater for it, because already monsteras need quite a lot of light to actually grow and thrive, but because it has variegation, it's definitely going to need that light. So I don't think it's going to be a immediate one to cross off my wish list, but hopefully in the future when I can accommodate for it. As for now, I will ogle and look and embrace all of the ones that I see on my timeline. The next one is a Hoya. Honestly, this year I also want to look into Hoya, but just like, I don't know if I'm gonna buy a lot. I might just. It's similar with Anthuriums. I want ones that are very different from each other. But as for a Hoya linearis, I saw it mid last year, I think, and they look so pretty. Again, it's the same thing with the texture. It's just like so dainty, and it's very different from other Hoya leaves and stuff like that. There was one that was on sale and I just wasn't able to get it. I'm so bummed, but just look how whimsical. It reminds me of like a weeping willow, but it's a Hoya, and the flowers are also really stunningly white, and it just adds like this air of delicacy. I think they look really pretty. I like the draping plants. I think it's a step up from like the pothos and philodendron Brazil and stuff like that, because it's still like a trailing, like drapey plant, but it gives a different texture and it just looks really pretty. I also love the color. I don't know, just look at that. Oh, this person's packing it. I was wondering why. I'm making spaghetti. But yeah, I just really want one. This is definitely on my radar, on my list. If I find one, I'm buying it this time. Yeah, it's just the texture. But oh wow, this person has just like a full-on curtain. How do you see? This is what I'm trying to get onto. I need it so badly. So we'll see. Fingers crossed I come across one, a nice one this time around. Yeah, those are some of my wish list plants. There's definitely a lot more where they came from, and so I might make a part 2, or else we'll be here all day. But let me know if you have any of these, and if you do, please tell me what you do, like if there's any special care you have towards some of these plants, so that I know in advance and can prepare for it. I don't want to have another case of bringing something in and then it just like failing on me because I didn't do proper research. So your personal experience really does help a lot, and I'll definitely let you know if I do get any of them, how it's going, and show you the progress. But as for now, that is my wish list. We'll see. I'm not really rushing to cross out all of them, but it will be great if some of them are. Let me know some of your wish list plants, whether they are indoor, outdoor, aquatic, whatever it is. I'm so excited to dive into another rabbit hole of another plant. But yeah, as for now, I'm gonna end this video off here. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, it would mean a lot if you like and share this with all your other planty friends. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.